Okay, two completely different Hollywood stories just collided, and somehow they're dominating the conversation for completely different reasons. First, Brad Pitt just made a personal confession that surprised even longtime fans. After 7 years of sobriety, he's drinking again. Not the way he once did, he says, but enough to admit he's no longer living completely alcohol-free. Then, just as that story started making headlines, Goldie Hawn reminded everyone why she's remained one of Hollywood's brightest personalities for decades. At 80 years old, she was spotted dancing on vacation in a colorful swimsuit, smiling, laughing, and looking like she hadn't a single care in the world. 2 stars, 2 headlines, one about rebuilding your life, the other about embracing it. And together, they reveal something surprisingly honest about growing older in Hollywood. If there's one thing Brad Pitt has mastered over the years, it's staying quiet. Sure, his movies speak for them. His awards keep piling up, and every appearance still becomes front-page news. But when it comes to his personal life, he's usually careful. That's why his latest interview caught so many people off guard. There wasn't a dramatic television special, no emotional social media post, no carefully produced documentary. Instead, the conversation happened naturally. During an interview at his Los Angeles home, Pitt reportedly offered his guest a glass of wine. That simple gesture opened the door to something much more personal. He explained that after spending 7 years completely sober, he now drinks again. Immediately, people started asking the same question, wait, what changed? Pitt didn't describe it as going back to old habits. Quite the opposite. He said he's learned his limits. A few glasses of wine, fine. Too much, not anymore. It's a small detail. But coming from someone who has spoken openly about addiction and recovery, it carried enormous weight, because this isn't just another celebrity talking about wine. It's someone reflecting on one of the hardest periods of his life. To understand why fans reacted so strongly, you have to go back several years, back to 2016. Back to a time when Brad Pitt wasn't making headlines for movies, he was making headlines for his personal life. His separation from Angelina Jolie became one of the biggest celebrity stories in the world. Every day brought new rumors, new reports, new speculation, very little privacy, very little peace. Eventually, Pitt admitted something needed to change. Later interviews painted a picture of someone trying to rebuild from the inside out. One of the biggest steps? Alcoholics Anonymous. Pitt has previously described those meetings as incredibly meaningful. Not because they magically solved every problem, but because they forced him to be honest. Honest with himself, honest with others. He once explained that he had reached a point where he needed to wake up and start taking responsibility. Those words stayed with a lot of people, maybe because they didn't sound rehearsed. They sounded human. Now, years later, he's speaking honestly again. Only this time, the conversation is different. Instead of talking about becoming sober, he's talking about what life looks like after years of change. Naturally, not everyone reacted the same way. Some fans praised his openness. Others worried that headlines might oversimplify what he actually said. Recovery is deeply personal. Different people follow different paths. Pitt wasn't presenting himself as an expert. He wasn't encouraging anyone else to make the same decisions. He was simply sharing where he is today. And in Hollywood, that kind of honesty is surprisingly rare, because celebrities usually protect their image. They polish every sentence, every interview, every public appearance. Pitt seemed to do the opposite. He admitted life isn't always perfect. Sometimes, progress doesn't look the way people expect. While people continued debating those comments, another headline quietly started taking over social media, and this one couldn't have felt more different. Goldie Hawn, vacation, Europe, family, sunshine. Those 4 words alone already sound like a good time. Then Kate Hudson shared videos from the trip. There were beautiful beaches, relaxed afternoons, family dinners, and plenty of laughter. But one clip instantly stood out. Goldie Hawn, wearing a colorful one-piece swimsuit, holding what appeared to be a nearly empty wine bottle, started dancing, not for a movie, not for an advertisement, just because she felt like it. The internet loved every second. Comments flooded in. People weren't asking about fashion brands. They weren't criticizing her age. Instead, most of them were saying exactly the same thing. I hope I'm that happy at 80. That's a powerful reaction, especially online, because social media often rewards perfection. Perfect lighting, Perfect angles, perfect editing. Goldie's moment wasn't perfect, it was joyful. And that's exactly why it worked. For decades, she's talked openly about staying active. Not because someone told her to, because movement makes her feel alive. She hikes, she bikes, she walks, she dances. In past interviews, she's even joked that she simply can't stop moving. Watching that vacation clip, it was obvious she meant it. There wasn't anything forced about the moment, no performance, no attempt to go viral. Just someone enjoying time with family. Ironically, that authenticity became the reason millions watched. It's funny how celebrity culture works. Sometimes the biggest headlines come from billion-dollar movies. Other times, it's a 30-second family video. Now here's where these stories unexpectedly connect. Brad Pitt's headline is about honesty. Goldie Hawn's headline is about confidence. Different words, same message. Neither person is pretending life is perfect. Brad openly acknowledged his complicated relationship with alcohol. Goldie embraced getting older without trying to hide it. That's refreshing, especially in Hollywood, an industry famous for impossible standards. Think about it. One actor is talking about mistakes. One actress is celebrating age. Yet both stories sparked admiration for exactly the same reason. They felt real. Maybe audiences are changing. People still enjoy glamorous premieres, luxury vacations, dust-and-bastard fashion, but increasingly, they're responding to authenticity. The polished image isn't enough anymore. Viewers want something genuine, something relatable. Brad Pitt discussing personal growth, Goldie Hawn dancing with her family. Those moments feel more memorable than carefully planned publicity campaigns. That's probably why both stories spread so quickly. People weren't just sharing celebrity news. They were sharing conversations about aging, about recovery, about happiness, about second chances. And perhaps that's the biggest surprise. Neither story relied on scandal, neither depended on shocking accusations. Instead, they reminded people that life keeps moving forward, even after heartbreak, even after mistakes, even after turning 80. Of course, Hollywood will move on. Tomorrow there will be another trailer, another breakup rumor, another viral interview. The entertainment cycle never really slows down. But some headlines linger, not because they're louder, because they're more meaningful. Brad Pitt's comments encouraged people to think differently about personal growth. Goldie Hawn's carefree vacation reminded people that joy doesn't have an expiration date. Those aren't stories built around controversy. They're stories built around perspective. Maybe that's why fans kept talking long after the original headlines appeared. They weren't debating who wore what or who said what. They were discussing something much bigger: how people evolve, how happiness changes, how confidence looks different at every stage of life. That's something celebrity news doesn't always capture. Sometimes it focuses only on the spectacle. This time, it accidentally found something much more interesting: humanity. Behind every headline, there was simply a person living their life, one choosing honesty, the other choosing joy. And maybe those are the stories audiences need more often. In an industry where every move is analyzed and every headline competes for attention, these two stories stood out for an unexpected reason. They didn't rely on manufactured drama. Brad Pitt's willingness to speak honestly about his journey reminded people that personal growth is rarely simple, and that change often happens quietly, one decision at a time. Goldie Hawn's carefree vacation moments showed that confidence isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing the life you've built and enjoying it without apology. Together, these headlines offered something increasingly rare in celebrity culture: authenticity. Long after the trending topics disappear and new stories take their place, that's the part people usually remember. Not the gossip, not the speculation, but the moments that feel unmistakably real. Hollywood never runs out of headlines, but the stories worth talking about are usually the ones that reveal something deeper than the rumor itself. If you enjoy original celebrity stories that go beyond the buzz and uncover the people behind the fame, subscribe and join us for the next story everyone will be talking about.